Welcome back everybody to the channel, and in today's video we're going to try and build an SCX24 Competition Crawler completely out of spare parts. Now if you guys are familiar with my channel, you'll know that my original SCX24 competition build right here was the absolute best. I really should have never disassembled it in order to make other vehicles, but here we are today. It's going to be a nice challenge, and I'm going to challenge myself to rebuild this SCX24 right here almost entirely out of spare parts that I already own. The only thing is that I will be purchasing a brushless ESC and motor, but other than that, everything else should be stuff that I already own. I'm allowed to pick stuff off of other vehicles, but that's only going to hurt me because my two other competition rigs are already set up just the way I like, but I really want to get this thing back to its former glory. I'm going to open this up to a community challenge, so if you guys want to do that too, head over to the post page on my profile, and you guys will see the rules that I have right there. Now, when we talk about spare parts, I have a ton of spare parts. I literally have bins on bins on bins of just stuff that I've accumulated over the years. I really can't even tell you where I've gotten some of that stuff from. I don't remember purchasing it. So let's go ahead, let's pull that out, and let's take a deeper dive at the main frame for this. So to begin, the frame rails are going to be from Mofo RC. I believe this is a discontinued model. I'm not sure, but if it is available, I'll make sure to put a link in the description box down below. And then I'll also be running a Pro Line cliffhanger body. As you can see, I've already tried to start this, but I ended up just giving up and saving it for a future video. Again, all this stuff that's on here already, I pulled out of parts bins. So let's go ahead and see if we can complete this build. Okay, the build is now complete. I won't waste any more time. I'll talk over some clips of this running on the local course. I'll go through, tell you how it did, but let's hop right into that. So overall, my first initial thoughts of this truck, of me just building it, doing no testing, no prior tuning, and just running it on the course, I have to say I'm impressed, but there is still a lot of unlocked potential with this truck to be found. So my plan is to run it on the course as you're seeing right now in the video, and then take it home, add a couple other upgrades to it, and then go back to the course and see how it performs then. A couple of things that you will notice when looking at this video is that the front end does have a tendency to lift up. Granted, I do believe that this is due to not having overdrive in the front axle, so that's something that we're going to correct a little bit later. Also, I do believe that it is a little bit too top heavy. It's actually quite a bit top heavy. That can primarily be contributed to the very large and top heavy motor that I installed from Amazon. This is not going to be your smaller sized FuryTech system that you would normally put into a truck like this, but again, for $50, you really cannot complain. If you were to ask me what do I think about buying the $50 combo on Amazon versus the $100 to $150 FuryTech system, I would say that if that extra $100 is going to make or break your bank account, then the $50 system from Amazon is going to be just enough for you. Now, if you have the little bit of extra money to spend on a nicer motor and ESC combo, 100% go with the FuryTech. You're not going to regret it. It's very well fine-tuned, it's lightweight, and it's just super easy to work with, especially now that they have this Bluetooth app and connectivity set up right at your hands. There was a couple areas where I definitely thought that this truck would perform a lot better than what I initially thought, and then there's also areas that outperformed my thoughts as well. The roles were definitely a little bit reversed. So now that you have seen the truck from its initial stage, let's go ahead and see what I've done to it in the meantime. And I have to say, this performed much better than the initial test and tune. So going over some of the stuff I changed with this truck after its initial run is going to be actually quite a bit. I ended up stripping the ESC aluminum case. That saved a ton of weight, and then I flipped the position of the receiver and then the ESC, as now the receiver is going to be a little bit heavier than my raw ESC. I also stripped a little bit more weight from the rear. I took off all the brass rear links, and then I even took off the top brass link mount, and then also the rear brass diff cover. I replaced it with a aluminum one, and then also just some standard aluminum links. That ended up helping out a ton. It definitely helped with my lifting issue and wanting it to drag itself all the way down on steep inclines. I also ditched the stock skid plate and went with a OGRC extended brass one. That again was a super duper helpful benefit to my LCG, or lower center of gravity. And then I did do a little bit more general work of lowering the weight so that way everything tries to sit below my frame rails. As I did mention before, I did put in a overdrive gear set in the front. This is a 213, so I do believe that helped. The only thing I would say I didn't like about it is that it is a little bit more clunky now. It's not as smooth. I don't know if my drive shafts are out of phase or if something is just not properly installed right when I switched out my front gears. I don't know. It's just not as smooth as it once was, but I was able to fight that when crawling, and I have to say this performed much better. You're definitely going to see some lines that I took that absolutely blew me away. There was actually two of the hardest lines there that I did with ease with this truck after I did all those modifications. I still think that this is a little bit too top heavy because of my body mount bracket in the front and then also the body with the lights. Realistically, I would like to just have it as a raw open frame, but with some of the classes around here, you do need a body in order to run in the classes.
Kind of looks like this. It's down there. It's super beefy.
Everybody put up there.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, actually, guys, I was going for the actually over.
Well, that's
Well, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you guys subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys again for tuning into this video, and I'll see you in the next one.